So welcome to everyone. Today is Tuesday, June 1st. This is Explore Careers, Transportation Industry, presented by Career Force of Minnesota. So glad to have you all here. You know, transportation has been one of the big jobs in demand over the past year, if not past 2 to 3 years. You know, transportation is a critical part of our nation's infrastructure, our supply chain, and having people who can get the vehicles from here to there and unload them is really one of those really important behind the scenes efforts. Today, joining us are four companies and a school that are going to give us a little bit different perspective from different points of view. So we have MEI Trucking, ITS Con Global, Waste Management, Interstate Driving School, and First Transit. I'm sorry, I forgot First Transit's logo on this first slide. But different aspects, whether it's long haul or local driving or involved in the hauling and the load in, load off. Please be aware that these aren't the only jobs in transportation in the state. Towards the end of the hour, I will be sharing some of the other companies that I found on Minnesotaworks when I did a search on the keywords of transportation. But first, we have Josh Winger from the Interstate Driving School. He has a really great overview of the entire industry and what his company does in helping prepare people for this. So welcome, Josh, take it away.
Hi, well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to present. My name is Josh from Interstate Truck Driving School. I've been here for a little over 10 years. We have been in operation since May of 1998, and happy to say that we've had, and that whole time, we've had a perfect safety record. And safety is always number one when it comes to not just our school, but pretty much every facet when it comes to truck driving and the industry. So just some quick notes about the truck driving industry. Over 8 million people in the United States are employed in some capacity by the truck driving industry. That can be anything from driving to more of a logistical part of it, management, dispatch. There's quite a few different avenues, bad truck driving pun, when it comes to working in the industry. Trucks transport 11.84 billion tons of freight in 2019. Now, obviously, with 2020, that would have obviously changed because of the year that 2020 was, but that goes from everything from medical supplies to food to clothes to cars. Anything and everything gets shipped on a truck in one way, shape, or form. Now, how this country would not be as prosperous as it is, and just as you would not be able to get food and clothes so easily without the truck driving industry, as you can see in the last piece below. So without this industry, we would experience food shortage within about 3 days. Gas station fuel would diminish in 48 hours. That's prevalent because lately on the news there has been information about tanker drivers and the shortage that we're facing there. Manufacturing would be shut down. So it affects everybody, literally everybody. One of the things that the truck driving industry has going for it is it's an equal opportunity employer. So it doesn't matter color of skin, doesn't matter what creed you follow, doesn't matter gender. Everybody has the opportunity to make the same amount of money. I'm ready for the next slide.
Is it this one with the 80,000 pounds of freight?
Yeah. So the average big rig carries 80,000 pound freight. So that people don't know the difference between Class A and Class B. So there's a picture of a truck in this slide. That is a Class A truck. So there's a truck and there's a trailer behind it. Class B would be just like a garbage truck or a dump truck. So like a single unit vehicle or a box truck, something similar to that. So freight, I'm just going to say 2020 was kind of a bloop because for a number of reasons. But now with the housing market the way it is, a lot of people are building right now. Freight is people are looking just to kind of move on from COVID. And a lot of drivers went into an early retirement due to COVID, specifically like the tanker drivers, because nobody was driving. So they didn't need to get fuel anywhere. But now that people are starting to get out, they're starting to move, they're starting to go to the movie theaters again. A lot of people are doing road trips, so I mean, I myself, I'm taking a road trip in like 3 weeks. So, you need gas. So a lot of people treated that as like an early retirement. But now that everybody's kind of looking, forward to life post COVID, demand is just skyrocketing right now. So as you can see in this second box here, the industry could be short as much as 105,000 drivers by 2023. And then I clearly put down the exact same thing at the bottom of this one by accident. So we can take it to the next slide there. Now there's a few different types of trucking. There's 1.2 million truck driving companies in the United States. Most of those are going to be your smaller carriers. But the main types of like Class A trucking would be flatbed, like the first picture that you see there, drive-in and refrigerated, where you're driving like a box unit, and then tanker. There are other modes of transportation when it comes to driving trucks. So you could do like doubles and triples, which is where you're hauling like 2 trailers at a time or 3 trailers at a time. So that's going to be kind of the traditional Class A type of truck that you would be driving. Next slide, please. So now the main types of trucking routes over the road. So that's going to be kind of the more what people think of when they think of Class A driving positions. That's where the driver's gone anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks at a time. You're home, you're back on after that, and you're driving everywhere. Anywhere within the 48 states, sometimes even through Canada and into Alaska. So this part of the industry is what people think of for the most part when it comes to truck driving, being gone all the time. Missing home and, only being home every so often. That's not really the case anymore. It used to be that way, but with the way that the market is right now, things have kind of shifted. When I started here, you used to have to put in anywhere from 9 months to a year over the road before you would qualify for like a local position. That's just not the case anymore. Most of the truck driving companies that are reaching out to us for these new drivers are definitely local carriers, and that's just making the industry more appealing to new drivers. Regional drivers would be kind of something between over the road and local, where you're gone, anywhere from 4 to 6 days on average. You're kind of in like a 5-6 state area, so somewhere in the Midwest, and then you'd be back home, usually like a Saturday, Sunday, or a Sunday to Monday kind of a thing. Local driving is home every day or every night. So sometimes you would be driving overnights. Some carriers prefer to do that because there's less traffic. So it just depends on the carrier. But if you're doing like something like Coca-Cola or Pepsi, or something where you're doing like food distribution, usually starting earlier in the morning, done earlier in the afternoon. But yeah, the local market is what we're seeing right now as being kind of the main force behind a lot of this truck driver shortage. Next slide, please. Income. So this is a tough one because the range is so crazy. So first year average, according to Indeed, is going to be about 62,000. That's kind of the higher average. I think that's kind of high. The average that I've seen is going to be closer to like the mid to high 50s. Then the 6 to 9 year average, according to Indeed, is they're saying 70. I think that's kind of low. If you're doing local work versus over the road, that the difference within the income potential is pretty big. So if you do over the road, say for like 5 years, we've had students come back and they're making, if they're not at 100K, they're pretty close to 100K. If you were to do that same local route for about 5 years, you're probably looking at like somewhere in the low 70s. So the earning potential is pretty different when it comes to doing like over the road for, 4 or 5 years versus local. In terms of where Minnesota ranks, I thought this was kind of interesting, but in terms of like income for truck drivers, Minnesota's right in the middle, right at 25 when it comes to truck driving income. Next slide, please. So if you're interested on where to start with trucking, the first thing I would have you do is, talk to some of these carriers. We can have you contact them directly to see if this is what you think would be a good fit. Other than that, studying the commercial driver's manual, which you can download online free. So if you do a Google search for Minnesota CDL manual, there should be a PDF that pops up. You can download it there. We do give those books out here at the school for free. So if you ever want to stop by when we're open, you can always stop by. There are 3 tests that you would need to take to get a CDL permit, which is very similar to a driving permit. Those tests would be general knowledge, air brakes, and combination if you're doing Class A. If you're doing Class B, it would just be those first 2 tests. There are extra endorsement tests like hazardous materials, tanker, doubles, triples that you can take as well. And then, yeah. Oh, and then there we go. So that's my information there. So Josh at interstatedriving.com. You can also reach me at info@interstatedriving.com. Website is going to be interstatedriving.com, where you can get more information on the programs, the truck driving industry. And if you ever have questions for me and you want to talk to me directly, my phone number is there on the bottom.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I was busy typing in the information into the chat for those people online. So thank you. Yeah, and part of this conversation is to help people figure out what kind of role that would make the most sense for them. So thank you. And a little bit later on, folks, too, I have a screenshot of Career Force MN's Explore Careers, which is linked to DEEDS, the Department of Employment and Economic Development's labor market information. And they have all the wage data too, very, very specifically for the past 6 months for all of the transportation industry. So we could really drill down and find the most accurate wage information. So thank you, Josh. Thank you for being here. And folks, people, if you have any questions, type it into the chat and Josh can shoot you back an answer really quickly too. But I'd like to move ahead now and let's start the conversations with some of the companies. Today we have Corey Alford of MEI Trucking. MEI is in Bird Island, Minnesota, and I had to look that up. She can tell you a little bit more about it. So Corey, are you there?
We're just on the outside of Bird Island.
Why don't you were muted for just a second. So start again. There you go.
We are actually just outside of Bird Island, Minnesota. It's about 2 hours west of the cities, right off of 212. We are currently looking for truck drivers. You could probably go to the next slide. We are safe, reliable drivers. We are, like I said, based out of Bird Island, right in between Bird Island and Olivia. We were established in March of 2018, and we are owned by Keith and Sarah McNamara. They are also farmers. We are officed right here at the farm, and we have a variety of hauling options. We have live bottoms, grain trailers, belly dumps, hopper trailers, van trailers, beat trailers for hauling our harvest stuff. So we do kind of a variety of hauling throughout the year. It usually starts out with like our over the road during the winter months. Then we go into our road construction, which is what we're in now. And after that, we do our commodities, which is our farm hauling. And then we'll usually go back into our over the road. Just a few things that we do haul lime with our live bottoms. We can haul anywhere from seeds to manure to turkey litter. Construction hauling, it's usually gravel or hot mix. You can probably go to the next screen. We have a variety of benefits. We are currently paying $26 an hour, up to $32 an hour for road construction, just depending on the job and what the state mandates we have to pay for that job. Over the road, we are currently at 52 cents a running mile. We do have a full-time maintenance team here on site that takes care of all of our equipment and trucks, making sure they're all DOT'd and ready to be on the road. We have a $1,500 performance bonus. You'll get half of that after, I think it's after 6 months, and then the other half you'll usually get towards the end of the year. We do have paid time off, health insurance with dental. We have an HSA, we got a typo there. HSA and an FSA, which is a health savings account or a flexible savings account. We also have the 401k with a 3% match. We are also doing, the referral bonus is $1,000 right now. We could probably go to the next screen. We are looking for full-time drivers, somebody that might be committed, you know, for 5 years or more. We transport finished goods, could be anywhere from seed to junk batteries to canned goods to bottled water, alcohol. The drivers are all responsible for inspecting their vehicle, making sure that they're all mechanically safe and ready for the road. The drivers usually plan their own route. They do call me with suggestions on routing, so I can help with that. They have to document and log all of their work. We do have newer trucks, so we use an e-log. Some loads for over the road require you to use like a macro, which is kind of a program where the broker can track where you are. Let's see, requirements. We want to have at least a 5-year experience or 25 years or older is what kind of our insurance is requiring us to have. We went over that. Ability to drive long hours. Right now during road construction, we're working anywhere from, it could be 12 to 14 hours a day. During over the road, they can only drive for 11 hours, but they can have 14 hours of on-duty time. Let's see, you gotta be willing to submit a background and a drug check. We do drug testing out here in Olivia. The trucking school diploma is a plus, but it's not necessarily required. Just have to have a CDL and be able to pass the drug screen, and be insurable. I mean, you can't have, you know, DWIs and that kind of stuff on your record, but harvest, when we have harvest, we could haul anywhere from corn to beans, the grain, sugar beets, anything you can grow on a farm. And it's usually either from the elevators to the co-ops, or it'll come right off of our farm here and it'll go to a piling site. Let's see, when we do over the road, it's usually regional. We kind of stay in the upper Midwest, South Dakota, North Dakota, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. We do go a little bit into Michigan, a little bit into Kansas. Let's see. Like I said, it was 52 cents a mile for over the road. We serve our logistics department in a safe and timely manner, transporting finished goods and raw materials over the road to and from manufacturing plants or retail and distribution centers. It's most of our loads are no touch to the driver. There are some that they may have you push it from the front end of the trailer to the back, and we have pallet jacks in the trucks to help with that. But like I said, most of them are no touch to the driver. Let's see, they are required to do a 30-minute break during over the road. Hope you're fine, go ahead. Road construction, truck driving jobs, transporting. Like I said, it's usually gravel or hot mix. It could be milling with, the stuff that they take off the road when they are going to redo it. Next. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I'm usually here from 7 to 5. If you're interested in employment, give me a call. Number's there at the bottom, 320-365-4498.
Great, thank you. So how far or close do your drivers live? Do they all live within like a 20-minute vicinity of?
We actually have one driver that comes from Osakis, which is about probably an hour and 45 minutes from here. He'll drive down on a Monday morning, and then we've got him in a sleeper truck. So he sleeps in the truck all week, and then he goes home on Friday nights and is home for the weekend. The rest of our drivers are mostly local. We've got a couple that live down in Redwood, which is about a half an hour from here, but for the most part, they're all local. But we are willing to hire, people that are a little bit further out that, wouldn't mind staying in a truck, or we also put them up in hotel rooms, for the night too, if need be. So, I mean, the options are there.
Sure. And what is the seasonality? I mean, when you hire a driver, is this like a contract position, or are you paying them on a W-2 and then laying them off during like a winter season? Like construction, sometimes there's a layoff in the winter.
But we have work year round. So once we're done with road construction, we go into our fall harvest, and then after that, we do over the road for the winter. There is the option of collecting unemployment in the winter and not doing over the road. Obviously, that doesn't pay as well as keeping a normal job, but if that's what they choose, the only thing that we would ask is that they return in the spring.
Sure. That's great. Thank you. And yes, the email address is dispatch@meitrucking.com. And I put the telephone number up there. That's 320-365-4498. Thank you, Corey. Hang on. If you have questions for Corey, you can certainly type them in the chat area. And then we're going to go ahead and hear about a different type of transportation job. This one at waste management, waste disposal and recycling. But it's a different type of driving, I'm guessing. I've never been a driver. Allison, please tell us more.
First of all, can you hear me and can you see me?
Yes,
Okay.
you're on.
Okay. Yeah, waste management, I would assume, or maybe I shouldn't assume, most of you have seen our green trucks either at the gas station, in your neighborhood, at your, the end of your driveway, restaurants, but we are the largest in the waste industry. So for our industry, we are the biggest next to Republic. And I'm here local out of the Twin Cities. We are across the US and Canada, but I'm here to talk about the positions we have here in the Minneapolis area and then the suburbs too. So you can go ahead and move. Yep. So why waste management? Stability, in this past year and a half, we certainly haven't slowed down. There has always been trash. regardless of the pandemic. So we certainly haven't slowed down in that respect. Some of the benefits or the perks, I guess you could say, that we offer. We have insurance starting after 90 days. Being that we are such a large company, in my opinion, the benefit rates are fairly inexpensive. We do also offer 3 weeks paid vacation to start. So that's kind of the starting vacation amount, and it goes up by 1 week every 5 years. 401k, we have a match for that. We do a match of dollar for dollar the first 3% that you contribute, and then 50 cents to the dollar for an additional 3%. One thing that's not listed on here that Corey, you reminded me to bring up would be hours, because I know that's everyone wants to know what are the hours. It kind of varies. As far as a starting time, think of it as, you know, restaurants, gas stations, they want their trash removed before customers get there. So the start time might be closer to, I don't know, 4 or 5 a.m. Residents, you know, at the end of your driveway, you really don't want a loud garbage truck waking you up, waking up your kids. So start time's a little bit closer to 6 or 7, depending on the city. Every city kind of has a sound ordinance. But you're looking at about a 10-hour day. We have some routes that are, that's a 5-day work week. We have other routes that's a 4-day work week. So we offer a 4-day work week or a 5-day work week, depending on what works best for you and your family. Some folks like to get all their hours in 4 days, have a long weekend. Some prefer to, you know, maybe have shorter-ish days and do a 5-day work week. So we don't work on the weekends. In addition to the, you know, paid vacation, we have the holidays paid as well. Oh wait, could you go back one more? I think. Oh yeah, the education coverage I just wanted to mention, because that's new to waste management, just as of, I was gonna say last month, but technically 2 months ago in April. We just rolled out an education coverage, meaning waste management for any full-time employee will pay for your education up front. So it's not necessarily a reimbursement where you pay and then we pay you back. They pay up front for high school diploma, certain professional certifications, and then there's like 140, I want to say, some odd bachelor's degrees that kind of pertain to our industry, that you can get, like I said, free of charge. Waste management covers that for employees as well as spouses and dependents starting next year. So anybody who has kids, teenagers getting close to college age, it's essentially a free college education covered by waste that we're offering for kids next year. Just want to shout that out because that's new for us. So what the positions, what do they look like? Where are they? What do they pay? You know, waste management is throughout the state. It's throughout the US. Here in the Twin Cities, we have Blaine, we have Burnsville, we have St. Paul, and then we have suburbs like Winsted, St. Cloud, Cambridge, Northfield, and further south. You know, it kind of goes all directions, but here in the Twin Cities, these are the 3 locations that we hire most. Like I said, 50 to 55 hours a week. Pay, it is dependent on experience. So if you just got your CDL, no experience, you just got out of interstate driving, the pay would be $22.25 per hour. Any years of CDL driving you have under your belt increases that pay. So I don't want to deceive it. It would be higher if you had experience. We also have a couple sites that offer sign-on bonuses. So Blaine, Burnsville, we have a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Every site's a little bit different on what they offer. But types of trucks that you would drive, that top picture there, that's what we call our commercial front load. So that would be servicing the commercial size cans that you would see behind Quick Trip or Holiday or Olive Garden, or maybe in an apartment building. Down below, that's what we call our residential ASL, or automated side load. So that's what you'd see at the end of your driveway. And additionally, we have what's called a roll-off driver, which would be picking up those big containers you would see like behind Menards or Cub Foods, where you would put the whole container on the back of the truck. And additionally, we have an apprentice position where we would pay for you to get your license. You just need to come to us with the permit, so the written test. That covers it for that slide. So this is just progression. Where can you move up within waste management? Start as an apprentice, hired as a driver, and then we have our route managers, our lead drivers. We have our what we call area relief, should be helping out around the Midwest. That's for sites that are understaffed, and there's of course a pay increase for that. But additionally, we have what we call our green team drivers, which would be disaster relief. So they're down in the south with the flooding, the tornadoes, hurricanes. They'll go down there and help pick up and clean up messes down there. And then I want to say the next slide is mechanics. Wasn't sure if we were only focusing on driving, but of course, anybody who hires drivers likely hires mechanics. We have to have folks who fix the trucks. So same location, Blaine, Burnsville, St. Paul. Pay is a little bit higher for those folks, but also first and second shift available. And I hire for both. So I want to say the next slide is career progression, so kind of where you can go. We have our apprentice, which would be where we would help cover some of your tuition to go to DCTC, for example, or Hennepin Tech. Then we have our tech, a senior tech supervisor, and then of course management positions, or if you really enjoy wrenching, there is also kind of a green team of mechanics who will help fix the trucks who are out in the natural disaster areas. And the last slide is my contact information. I work out of our Blaine site. My cell, my email, you can call, email, text, whatever's most convenient. If you just have questions, you don't want to apply it, you can of course reach me that way too, and I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Allison. Yeah, this is all very helpful, and yeah, every trash pickup day, those of us will see all of the trucks go through our neighborhood, and I personally am appreciative for the driver who stops by my house every day. So, I think about too, in career counseling, we always talk about a career fit, and sure, there might be the basic skill of driving, and then you bring your values, your skills, abilities, and your proximity to these jobs. So, if a person is in the Twin Cities, in the suburbs, and, values that type of regularity, then a waste management position might be appropriate. Where if a person really wants to live a little bit outside and wants to, work a little bit closer to agriculture, like in the case of MEI trucking, you might, choose to go that route. We're going to go on. Thank you, Allison. Thank you for being here. We're going to go on and find another aspect to this now with First Transit. And my guess is if you enjoy working with people, there might be a component that combines a little bit more customer service with driving. And here to tell us more is Tanya Mitchell of First Transit. So take it away, Tanya.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So at First Transit, we are definitely a company that are looking for customer service people that are definitely about people. You are out in the community helping out and definitely making a difference, a positive difference. And we are partnered with the Metropolitan Council. So not only are you a representative of ours, but you're also a representative of the Metropolitan Council. We do have different divisions. We do have first student. We do have the smaller buses, a lot of people call them, but that's Metro Transit. And then we do have different locations throughout the area, Roseville, Burrsville, and even Rochester. If you can go to the next screen. So for us, we do function 7 days out of the week from 5 a.m. in the morning all the way until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's just the different contracts that we have. We have over 6 different contracts throughout the metro. So we drive at the U of M area campus all the way to Woodbury, the St. Paul area, Shakopee, and then all the way to Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center. Also, too, you are paid for your training. And that is also information about getting your CDL. You would need your 3 different requirements, which is your general knowledge, passenger, and air brakes. And again, we do help with that through our classroom training, but I can also send you a link if you are interested. Our positions do start at $17.50, or it could be more than that due to different contracts that we have. The best part about this is that we don't tell you what you're going to do. You actually pick. So you see the different contracts and you pick on what's going to be convenient for you and your family. Not only that, we have full-time and part-time. We are a company that if you are working full-time, something happens with your family, and now you have to find yourself working less hours, don't feel that you actually need to quit or be in a bind. Just talk to us, let us know. There's so many different shifts out there that we can go ahead and work with you. We always want to do that before we go ahead and say, all right, we understand if you need to make another decision. If you can go to the next screen. We do have paid training for classroom. It's really important that you understand that in the classroom training, safety is definitely first and foremost. So you're going to hear that all the way through the process. But in the classroom training, you're going to learn about the safety system. Not only that, but just our handbook policy procedures, getting your DOT updated if it's not, again, helping you your CL. We give you that information and everything. And then any other policies and procedures that we go through with you, as well as your I-9. That is Monday through Wednesday for 1 week from 7 a.m. until 3:30. And again, you are paid for that training. So anytime that you're with us, you're actually compensated for that time. Next screen. After you're done with classroom training and you do have your CDL permit, or if you just have a CDL Class A or what have you, we then go ahead and start arranging behind the wheel testing. Behind the wheel testing is basically learning how to do your pre-trip. So checking your mirrors, things of that nature, reversing, doing a route, not so much of the route that you would be doing on a regular basis, but what a route is, just being out in the community and getting familiar to how that would be moving forward in a position like this. Again, you are paid for that training as well. If you already have your CDL, your behind the wheel training would be less hours, and that's usually about 20 hours or so with us. But I always tell people, even when you're behind the wheel training, if you feel that there's anything that you want to go ahead and refresh on or talk about or anything like that, please let us know, because we're setting you up for success. And not only that, but bring in your fresh eyes. That's another thing that's really, really cool about this company, is that if you feel during your training that you've done something in your past experience, being a driver for any other companies and stuff, and you're like, I wonder how come they didn't cover this, or I wonder if they would cover this, definitely bring that and approach us with that. That helps us keep us innovative. And not only that, but also too, making sure that training is straight across the board and there's nothing that we're being missed on. But we do welcome those kind of questions and suggestions. Next screen. Cadet training is basically when you are on your own. So after you've gone through the training and everything, it is now for you to show us what you've learned and everything, and going ahead and doing a route. You are still going to be with somebody on the team, but they're just pretty much monitoring you, seeing if you got everything down and everything. And if you have not, again, that is just a great time to still have that communication and just, you know, getting some feedback, and they will do that with you. So if there's anything that they feel, if the trainer was like, you know what, oh, we could have maybe done this a little bit different or what have you, they will approach you on that. So just know that, again, we are here to set you up for success. The other thing too, which I really appreciate, is that they're always doing road evaluations. So once you're with us and you are behind the wheel and you're working with us and part of the team, they do the 30, 60, and 90 day. Also to just remember, as you're going through everything, safety first. The other thing too is when you're on the buses, because we have different size buses with the different contracts that we have, there are cameras on there and the dispatchers there. Next slide. So we definitely want, again, a few key things. We want somebody that is definitely focused on customer service, helping people out there. Again, making sure that they're making a positive impact out there in the community. Not only that, but looking at this as a career, not so much a job or work. A lot of our people that come in, they're excited, meeting new people, especially with COVID and now everything's changing and stuff. Talking to different people as they're on the route, students, even those that are out and just going to the park. They're finally able to go to the park, go to the zoo, and everything like that. You are their person that they're talking to and building that relationship with. And First Transit is definitely about the people out there in the community, making sure that we're making them feel welcomed. Not only that, but just a listening ear if they need somebody to talk to. But again, this company has so many different aspects of it. Like I said, we have 6 different contracts, different size buses, different shifts, different routes. It's all up to you. And it's just a matter of you coming in and visiting us and having that discussion. A lot of people do circle back around and they say, thank you so much. It is exactly what you said, Tanya. It is this, it is that and stuff. And it is a great atmosphere. They definitely want to make sure that it is an open door policy. Answer any kind of questions that you have, always there for you. And like I said, if you have any ideas or anything to approach them with, they are definitely open to that. But safety is definitely first, customer service, and as everybody knows, being on time. So my
Thank you.
information is right there. I was going to say thank you.
Yeah, Tanya, if people have questions, can they reach out to you? I noticed you don't have your email on it, but
I just noticed that too. I'm like, wait a minute, all that information, I didn't even include that. Yes.
right, go ahead and type it in the chat. And then
Okay.
too, if anyone emails me and wants to get in touch with you, then I can just forward their email on to you. So thank you. I really like all of the pictures too on this last slide. I mean, it
Thank
shows
you.
to me it's all ages, both men
Yes.
and women.
Mhm.
You know, it's a position that could work for anyone.
Absolutely. And the other thing is too, is that, like I said, it is a position that actually there's so many different opportunities. Once you get your foot in the door, you actually will see that. And I always say that it's a door that opens to other opportunities in the company. They will look at you as a trainer, whatever they see, the value that you're going to add on the team. This company is definitely the company that says, you know what, can I talk to you about this? Can I talk to you about that? And it's refreshing to see that in a company like that. So, but I will go
Great.
ahead and place the information in there. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, good. Yes, everyone reach out to any of these companies, whatever interests you. Our last speaker is going to give us a little bit different perspective. We have Mandy Dale of ITS Con Global, And I'm going to let her talk about it because it's not just straight driving. You know, it has to do with our rail system and other modes of transportation. So, Mandy, take it away.
Hi. So ITS Con Global, we work closely with the railroad. We are based out, well, we have a rail yard out in St. Paul, is what we're hiring for. So a lot of our drivers come in with no experience. Could be as long as you're 19 at least. You can come in with no CDL and no experience at all, and we will provide you training so you could at least get your foot in the door with the career you might be interested in. Now, we do have different locations all over. I mean, it's all over Mexico, Canada, and let me see. Hold on. They're hiring gate clerks, power mechanics, terminal operators for all different locations because the COVID really did hurt each location. Now, the hours for our positions normally it's a Texas 2, so you have to work 3 days 1 week, 4 the next, and then you'd had every other weekend. But our supervisors have been more flexible with schedules, helping people out with what they need. Now, with the details of what the hostler, they'd be driving hostler trucks. Is most people don't, if you've never ridden one or drove one, they normally they're in comparison to a forklift. So if you've had any forklift or experience, then that's what we're looking for. But again, you don't have to have any at all. Our trains at the rail yards, they will come into the depot, and we have crane operators that will take the large intermodal container off of the rail car, and then our hostler drivers will take that off and transport it around the rail yard. Now, there's a lot of opportunities with becoming a hostler driver because you can move up really quick from that position in general. You could become the crane operators, but then again, you'd have to be okay with heights. There's lots of different directions you can go within our company because we do promote within, and you work closely with the railroad. So then you could have opportunities with moving over and work with them eventually if you're interested in that. Now, our hostler drivers, they start off about $20 or $20.48 an hour to $23.90. And you do get benefits after 90 days, medical, dental, 401k, which is matched by their company. We are given a $2,500 sign-on bonus, and you get that directly like right after you work 60 days. $1,000 referral bonus. And then with our gate clerk position, they do start out a little lower, but then again, that position is pretty much, it's really entry level. All you're doing is, you are probably the most important part of the facility because you're letting people in and you're acting as the safety and security for this facility. But you have, you got a document. You have the flexibility of different schedules. So therefore, that's why he's adjusting the pay with that. But you're starting out a little lower than them within the hostler drivers, just due to you get more flexibility. Let's see.
Can you take a moment to talk about some of the benefits?
Yeah. So what we have health and welfare. We offer, the choice of coverage for medical insurance, prescription drug, dental. We have life insurance, disability, accident coverage. We also had offered pet insurance too, which I thought was really cool for those animal lovers out there. We do offer that for people as well. paid time off. You would get that after, I think it's at 90 days. You have PTO that starts accruing, and then you get vacation days on top of that, sick time, and then 9 paid holidays. Retirement, you get a 401k with company matching to help you meet your saving goals. Tuition reimbursement. We're proud to help you develop professionally and personally. We offer reimbursement for pre-approved classes and programs. And that's, I mean,
No, that's great. So, just because I don't know much about the industry, explain to me a little bit more. So, you know, the railroad, you know, the rail trucks, trains come in with the containers. I'm trying to even find the right words.
yeah,
And
and
so,
they're the intermodal containers, the
okay.
long, and they come with, they could be hauling anything at all.
Mhm.
It's always different. But normally, you know, if starting out as a hostler driver, being trained to do that, you would actually have to be climbing up on the rail car, and you have to unlock that container and lock it back up. You would hook up to that and, you know, like transport it around to whatever bin it needs to go to. But you're going to be based in the rail yard you're assigned to, which would be out in St. Paul off Pierce Butler.
Right, right. And then, so what are the hours then? Are there all shifts?
Yeah, they're all different shifts. It pretty much depends on what would be best fit with your home, like your home schedule. But the days you would definitely have to work at least one, depending on what position. Gate clerks work at least one weekend day. Hostler drivers have the option of working 1 weekend day, or they could do the Texas 2, which is the 312s, 1 week for the next, and then every other weekend.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And I'm sorry, did you say like 10-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, 12?
12-hour shifts with
12.
the Texas 2, and then they also have the option to work 8 hours if they would be at our gate clerk position.
And now this photo of this woman here she's quite bundled up. So is that to say that you're always working outside?
Now, you're not necessarily always outside, but when you're either or position, you know, a gate clerk will come out of the building that you're posted in to go inspect the trucks that come in, the trailers, to greet the people and then let them through. And then you'll be back in the building. The same with the hostler drivers. You would get out to unlock the containers and lock them and do your checks. But then most of the time you're going to be in your truck or in that building.
Right.
But you would have to be out in the elements occasionally.
Sure, sure. And so then what are the prerequisites? What do you look for in someone who applies to one of your positions?
Well, we look for, you know, good stable job history, because we do want someone who's going to be with us for a while and we can help you grow with your career. Like I said, the age, as long as I think it's 18 to 19 to start out. You'd have to pass a drug screen, a background check, and we do send you for a general physical. We do not check, we check your driving record, but having something like a DUI would not necessarily be as restrictive as a lot of other driving positions. Maybe since you were going to be in the rail yard, we kind of go with the 7-year issue with that one. But we do help you get your certifications, so you would be, you'd be good working in the rail yard, and then you'd be able to advance within our company. We need people that would like to be flexible, because right now the rail yard out in St. Paul is working about 60 hours a week until we could get people all trained up and going.
Sure. So when you're fully staffed, then people will be working fewer hours than.
Yeah, it'd be a 40 to 40 hours, and
Right.
overtime offered if they would like it.
Right. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
You know, it's one area of the industry that I never think about, so
Yeah,
it's
a lot of
fascinating.
people don't.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's so much that happens behind the scenes. So thank you.
Thank you.
And if you would put your contact information in the chat area, so,
Okay,
are people able to contact you if they have questions?
absolutely. Yes, I'll put that in there.
Great, thank you. And yeah, you can take your phone or, device there if you want to scan the QR code. Otherwise, I've put their website, itscjobs.com. So thank you very much, Mandy, and thank you to Tanya, Allison, Corey, Josh, with all of your companies. I hope to the job seekers on the call, I've given you a little bit of an overview about the different types of roles that people can have when they work in a transportation industry. I do want to point out that on careerforcemn.com, middle of the page, just scroll on down, there's a green bar across the middle and it says Explore Careers. Type in the industry that you're looking for. So in this example here, I typed in transportation and you will see pages where it gives you different job titles. So I screenshotted the heavy and tractor trailer truck driver page. Gives you the occupation. It gives you other job titles that you might encounter, although it's essentially doing the same job. There's a video that our colleagues at Career One Stop, a federal company based in Minnesota, puts on. So it's just a minute, 38 seconds to give you a little bit of more detail. And then also on that same page, you'll see information on whether that is a job that's high in demand right now. In this case, that position of heavy truck driver position is definitely high in demand. The 10-year growth is at 6.6%, which is a fairly big number. And there are expected to be 47,000 openings over the next 10 years, which are a result of jobs being created and people taking retirement. So they'll be opening. We were talking about the expected salary ranges. And so this is where it's linked to Deed's labor market information. And so they say that people in this occupation tend to earn between $21 and $29 per hour. That's usually between, I think, like the 25th and the 75th percentile. And it also gives you information on some of the living wage data as a point of comparison. So as you use this, type in different things. On the top picture here, you can see too, I typed in driver. And then I got all of these different driving job titles, taxi drivers, pile drivers, bus drivers, etc. So you can see there's a lot of information in there. Use it as you're exploring what you want to do. And then our companion database, Minnesotaworks.net. This is part of the National Labor Exchange. I did a couple of different searches again on transportation and on CDL driver and truck driver. And there are companies all over the state, no matter where you live or no matter where you're doing your job search. So, like in the Twin Cities Metro, UPS, Blue Links, Builders First Source, Trillium Driver Solutions. These are just a few. The North has equal numbers. The Northwest area, especially with all of the agricultural and the mining in the Northeast. And then in the South, the Southwest, South Central, and Southeast has a great number of, Clean Harbors, Environmental, Swift Transportation, Larson Doors, Central Byproducts, and more. So please use MinnesotaWorks.net as you are doing your job search. So thank you for all of that information. Upcoming Explore Careers, I'm working on environmental services and environmental technicians for next week. I've got Bay West and working on inviting a couple of more companies. The week after that, we will have, we'll be talking around the security industry. So Minnesota Department of Corrections, JBM Patrol, and again, a couple of other companies that I'm working on and talking to. But you know very well that you can watch past webinars at any time on YouTube. Go to Career Force MN, and then from there, I've got a Explore Careers playlist. There's a construction-oriented job fair next week, Tuesday, June 9th. It's the 7th annual Union Construction Contractors Career Fair from 2 to 4 next, I believe that's a Wednesday. And we'll have information on our Career Force Job Fair calendar about that. But you can also find out more information from the Metro Region Interactive Easy Virtual Fair. I'll be sending out these slides, so you'll be able to get that. And again, our job fair link, our calendar, there's so many job fairs going on right now. So let us help you on your job search. Go to careerforcemn.com/locations. And you can reach out to me, Liz Jennings, at any time, liz.jennings@state.mn.us. Thank you for being here, and thank you to all of your companies. There's so many opportunities in transportation. I hope you pursue it. Thanks so much.